What is going on, everybody? Gamerscoon here today to talk about the travesty that happened on Sunday to the Chicago Bears. Obviously, I didn't post a video on Sunday. Some of that was to do with travel and me just not being around. And I didn't really have the motivation after that Bears game to come out here and make a video. But there's a lot we need to talk about this Bears team, man. It was pitiful. It was pitiful. Now, I've seen a lot of people, and obviously, social media is like terrible. It's terrible. Everybody just always so negative on there, right? Anything Bears related comes up, and the whole comment section is bench Caleb, play Tyson. I like Tyson, but Caleb was not the reason you lost 21-52. That defense, man, was pitiful. Amon-Ra did whatever he wanted. Jameson Williams blew coverage and had two big 50-plus yard catches. You're not going to win very many football games when that defense was playing like how they played. 21 points, granted, it's not great, but it can win you some games, right? 21 points, though, you would think you're in a game offensively, and you weren't. You weren't even close because the defense just collapsed, man. The defense just collapsed. And this video, I'm not trying to bring any like negative attention to any specific player, but the front office, Ryan Poles, um, we have to talk. We had to talk. I'm going to read you the 2025 Bears draft class. Number one, first round, 10th pick, Colston Loveland. Did you see Colston Loveland heavily involved in this game? For a guy that was in the 10th pick in the draft, did you see him heavily involved? Not that Colston Loveland can't be, but did you see Colston Loveland used? Round two, Luther Burden. Now, granted, I like Zacchaeus, but how we through two games, Luther Burden's had two catches. The 56th pick, which is also in the second round, Ozzie Trapillo, a healthy scratch in week two. At first, it sounded like he was competing for the starting left tackle job with Braxton. No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't know. A healthy scratch is a big red flag, right? You at least want to keep your second string healthy in case things go south, right? Well, he was inactive. Round four, Shamar Turner. Now he's hurt, so that is what it is. But still, just Shamar was not drafted in the fourth round. He was drafted with a 62nd pick. AI is wrong because it gives you the AI overview. It's wrong. Um, either way, Zoff Frazier. He was a fifth round pick. Zoff Frazier, it is what it is. He's also not with the team right now. So Shamar Turner, Zoff Frazier, things that are outside the control of Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson and this offensive staff and defensive staff with I guess this would be the defensive staff, right? It's outside of Dennis Allen's control that Shamar Turner and Zoff Frazier aren't playing, right? Because they are not eligible to be playing. Zoff Frazier is, at least to my last knowledge, still out with whatever he has going on off the field. And Shamar Turner, same thing there, but he has an injury. So you kind of can't do too much with that. That is what it is. I'm not mad at those. Luke Newman, barely seen him. And it's not like the offensive line hasn't been opening up opportunities. And like I said, I'm not trying to be negative towards any specific player, but I can look at that offensive line. I see countless penalties on there. I see multiple pressures allowed. And those are guys that could be replaced. Luke Newman, one of those guys that was competing and looked like maybe they thought he could be a starter in the preseason. We were like, well, he probably won't start early on, but he's a guy to watch out for down the road. He hasn't gotten any run, and it's not like this offensive line's been dominant or anything. The run game hasn't been there. I watched the Falcons game, man. With as much resources as we invest in the offensive line this season, we should have been able to run the ball against the Vikings. The Falcons did. We didn't. And then the best pick in this class so far, the most useful pick, is our 7th round pick, Kyle Monangai. I like Kyle Monangai. I think one day he might be able to take over from Swift, right? I want to see him get more touches. But the moral of me bringing everything that I just set up about this class, out of everybody, Loveland, Burden, Trapio, Turner, Frazier, Newman, Monangai's the only one to see, like, it's not even really consistent work, but work so far this season. Colston Loveland was a top 10 pick, and you don't see him getting the ball very often. Maybe a few targets so far. Look at Tyler Warren. He gets the ball force-fed to him. Colston Loveland has the talent. You drafted him in the first round. There's a reason why you drafted him in the first round. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. The one thing I will say, if you look at the 2024 class, it's starting to pan out. And the 2024 class got a lot of heat this week because it's been ridiculous. Your first 2 picks, right? Caleb Williams has been fine. I don't necessarily think he's been lighting the world on fire, but I think other people that are talking about benching him are crazy. He hasn't done anything. I mean, he had that one bad pass in that last game. He hasn't done anything to cost the Bears games, but he also hasn't done anything to win him games. That's the problem. So, Caleb, kind of the verdict still out on, but Rome Odunze is that guy. He's ready to make the leap. I think you're going to see, whether it's this season or in the off season or maybe next year, DJ Moore is going to get traded. And I think DJ is great, right? I think he's great. But Rome Odunze has taken the step we all hoped he could. You have Burden, who you think can potentially be something. Now you got to see it. And you ain't letting him play very often, so do with that what you will. You might keep DJ around because you don't really know what you got in Luther Burden. But you have now the luxury and the flexibility. You have your number 1 guy. Rome Odunze is your number 1 guy. He is clearly the best receiver on the field, and that's not a shot at DJ. It's not. It's Rome. You drafted him with the 9th overall pick, and you're starting to see it. You're starting to see Rome come into his own, and you're starting to see Rome be that player that we all knew he could be. That we didn't get to see too much. We got to see flashes of last year. Now it's the Rome show. Now it's Rome's team. Now it's Rome at the receiving room. He is the one getting the lion's share of the targets, right? Caleb always looking to Rome. Rome has sure hands. Rome's taking a big leap, and that's one thing I'll credit Caleb to. Get it to your playmaker, and Rome is your playmaker. He is far and above your best receiver, and that's not because DJ Moore's bad. That's because Rome Odunze is really good. I mean, if you ranked receivers, the top 10 receivers I'd want on my team going forward, somewhere in that range, Rome's in there. And there's a lot of good receivers. There's Jefferson, there's Jamar Chase, there's Marvin Harrison, there's Malik Neighbors, right? I think Rome would be in that top 10 of guys that, yeah, I'd take him. I'd take Rome. And then the rest of this 2024 class is the part that's getting a lot of flack, and I think it's rightfully so, because you look at Ryan Poles and kind of his drafting, and just hasn't had the greatest of rapport here. But you got Karan Amagaji. Hasn't played much, was on the verge of being put not on the 53-man this year. There was a whiff there, and you're hoping that maybe he can find it out, right? This is a guy that at one point before his injury in college, they thought maybe he could be a second-round pick. He got hurt, and he hasn't been the same since. So hopefully you can figure that out with Karan. 4th round, this is the one that everybody was picking on this week, Tory Taylor. And this isn't a shot at Tory Taylor. It's not. Tory Taylor's fine. That's not the problem. The problem is you look at a team right now that still struggles on the offensive line. You went out and you tried to invest in it. You got Dalman, you got Jackson. Obviously, you drafted Darnell Wright a couple years ago. You have Braxton still. You have Joe Tooney, and it still hasn't looked good. It still has not looked that good. So that's a problem. You went out and invested, and it still is looking like last year. Why? The players have been in successful situations before. Why is it still like that? Then you look at the defensive line, right? You don't really get much of anything in the pass rush. Montez Sweat hasn't done much. And granted, it's not all on Montez, right? Because you got to have other people open up holes for you to go make plays. Dayo Dangbo had a decent first game. Um, but your best pass rusher, in my opinion, is Gervon Dexter. Your defensive tackle is one of your defensive tackles. Your rotational defensive tackle. Your pass rushing specialist defensive tackle is your best pass rusher. It's not a shot at Gervon Dexter, but you're not going to be a very good defense if you can't pressure the QB. And if you do, you got to hope your corners can hold up. And Jalen Johnson, done for the year, it sounds like. Kyler Gordon has yet to play. And through 2 games, the guys that were flashing in the preseason and in practice and leading up to this season, Nahshon Wright and Nick McLeod and those guys, when they're in there with the ones, they can't handle guarding Justin Jefferson. They can't handle guarding Jameson Williams. And that's not a shot at them. That's not. There's levels to it. There's levels to it, right? You're asking your 4th or 5th best corner to guard the best player on the other team. Tyreek Stevenson, what happened? What has happened to Tyreek Stevenson? He was a very solid player for us. And then he had his incident against the Commanders, and everything went south. He started playing worse and worse and worse. That DB room needs to be figured out. There's no Jalen Johnson to save you. Who knows when Kyler Gordon's going to come back? I'm not holding out hope for it anytime soon, because every single one of these guys, it always seems like Brisker. He had that concussion last year, and it sucks that it held them out for as long as it was, but they never seem to be able to play. They never seem to be able to play. This secondary is always banged up. Look at Jalen, right? Jalen, he's going to be good to go for the opener. Wasn't good to go for the opener. And then he played, and then he got hurt, and then now he's done for the whole season. That room can't stay healthy. Whether it's concussions, whether it's weird injuries, and it doesn't matter. They can't stay healthy. And until you figure out that cornerback room, and it's a cornerback room that now is without Terrell Smith as well, who's on the IR for the rest of this season as well, who's going to be that guy to step up? Is it Kyler when he comes back? Is it Tyreek Stevenson? Nahshon Wright has looked good in spurts. Is it him? Nick McLeod, obviously, going to get plenty of opportunity. Who's going to be the guy to step up? And it's not all on them, right? When your pass rush isn't getting to them, you're not going to be making your corners money. The best thing you can do when you give a QB time, if you're an offense, is get open, right? The receiver's job is to lose the corner. When you give them 5-10 seconds to do so, because your pass rush isn't very good at the moment, you're going to get beat downfield. Teams are going to know to take shots on you. They did it with Jameson, right? Just completely blown coverage. Brisker, we need to see more out of you. You talked a big game about how you think you're one of the best safeties and you think that this Bears team's going to be really, really good. I need to see it, man. I need to see it. I need to see some passion from everybody, not just Brisker. It did not look like we wanted to play football against the Lions. It didn't. Byard. Why are we Byard and Brisker, man? Why are we having Jameson Williams just completely blow the coverage off the top twice? 1, okay. 2, come on. We're better than that. We're better than that. Brisker, I think you can be a top 10 safety. Do it. Byard, you're a veteran. Do it what you've done in the past. The corners, just do it, right? Pass rushers, Do it. That's simple. That's simple. But for some reason, we just aren't. I don't know if it's the lack of motivation. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is. But I can tell you right now that if this Bears team rolls out and plays like they have the first two games the rest of the season, they are not going to win very many games. I believe Ben Johnson can flip things around. I believe in Caleb Williams. I believe in Rome Odunze. I believe in Dennis Allen figuring things out. But this version of the Bears is not going to be good. TJ Edwards also hurt. Noah Sewell in for potentially some very heavy snaps this week. He's been solid. And if I'm going to be honest, your defensive MVP so far is either Noah Sewell or maybe Nahshon Wright. And you got guys on that defensive side of the ball that, I mean, aren't hurt and are getting paid a lot more than those two guys. Figure it out. That's all I got to say. Disappointing. Embarrassing, even. It's just, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching this team every single year underwhelm. We thought you got the right guys in there, and I hope you do. And I hope Ben Johnson can get it fixed like that. But when you go out there and you give up 52 points, 52, to a team that got dominated by the Packers, what's that mean for the Packers game? What does that mean when you play the Eagles, when you play the Ravens, when you play the Bengals? Higher scoring offenses. Now, Joe Burrow's hurt, but still, the higher scoring offenses. Cowboys this week. You play the Cowboys this week. You play the Cowboys. What is it going to look like? Is it going to look like week 2? Or are we going there and we're going to make changes and we're going to play better? You need to have a very good game coming off of this kind of week. This kind of week is the week you want to throw in the past and forget about it. Learn your lesson and move on and win games. The Cowboys can put up a lot of points. Don't let them. Simple. I'll see you next time.